I am honored to participate in this international congress, which aims to promote the integration between Chinese and Western medicine, which is the main objective to which I have dedicated the last 45 years of my professional activity. While traditional Chinese medicine does not historically reference the microbiota in modern scientific terms, its principles provide a conceptual framework that aligns remarkably well with the function and rules we now attribute to the gut microbiome. Now, I try to explain a synthesis of how TCM views are parallel or resonate with the microbiota, and how these are being integrated with the modern biomedical understanding. First of all, we see TCM concepts related to the microbiota. First, spleen, pancreas, and stomach as the root of postnatal qi. Second, middle jaw harmony is similar to microbiota balance. Third, dampness and toxin accumulation. Fourth, wei qi, defensive qi, and the immune system. Fifth, shen, spirit, and the gut-brain axis. First of all, spleen, pancreas, and stomach as the root of postnatal qi. In TCM, the spleen, pancreas, and stomach are central to digestion and nutrient absorption, functions that are closely related to the microbial activity in the gut. The spleen pancreas is said to transform and transport nutrients, while the stomach is the sea of grain and water. A weak spleen pancreas often correlates with symptoms of dysbiosis, bloating, loose stools, fatigue, heaviness sensation in the body, and food stagnation. Middle jaw harmony, similar to microbiota balance. The middle jaw, the digestive center, should be warm and active to ensure proper transformation and transport of food and fluids. This concept maps well to homeostasis of the gut environment, where balance among microbial community ensures health. Third, dampness and toxin accumulation. The TCM concept of dampness, especially the concept of damp heat, may correspond to the pathological states of gut inflammation and dysbiosis, where pathogenic bacteria or metabolic endotoxins accumulate in the body. Herbs that drain dampness and resolve heat may reduce inflammation and restores microbiota balance. Fourth, wei qi and the immune systems. Wei qi protects the body from external pathogens. Much like the immune function of the gut microbiome, including the maintenance of mucosal barrier and modulation of immune responses. Tonifying wei qi through Astragalus membranaceus radix, in Chinese Wan Qi, could be seen as promoting gut barrier integrity and immune balance. Fifth, Shen and the gut-brain axis. TCM links emotions and cognition, Shen, with the heart and spleen pancreas. Modern research on the gut-brain axis shows how microbiota influence mood, anxiety, and cognition. Herbs used to calm the Shen, for example Poria or Swansoren, may also have effects on microbial-mediated neurotransmitters regulation. And now we see some modern research connecting TCM and microbiota. Sijun Sitang is an old decoction, 4 gentlemen decoction, promotes beneficial bacteria and enhances SCFA production. Shanlin Baizusan, ginseng, poria, and atractylodis powder restores microbial diversity, especially in chronic diarrhea or colitis models. Pansia Sesintang, Pinellia decoction to drain the epigastrium, modulates microbial patterns associated with function dyspepsia and SIBO. Gansao, Glycyrrhiza uralensis radix, or licorice, acts as a prebiotic promoting bifidobacteria and reducing inflammation. Fermented herbs like shenchu, massa medica fermentata, may directly introduce beneficial microbial strains and enzymes. Which are the clinical applications? Which are the future direction? First of all, personalized medicines. TCM individualized diagnostic models aligns with the idea of personalized microbiome therapies. Second, formula modulation. Adjusting classicus formula based on microbiota composition may become a future approach. Third, the synergetic treatment. Using TCM with dietary therapy, probiotics, or antibiotic could yield synergical effects. Now we see an old formula of traditional Chinese medicine, old herbal formula of traditional Chinese medicine. The name is Shanling Paijusan, or ginseng, poria, atractylodis powders. Shanling Baijusan, also known as ginseng, poria, and atractylodis powder, is a classical traditional Chinese medicine formula. It is primarily used to tonify the spleen pancreas, resolve dampness, and stop diarrhea. This formula is recorded in the classical Chinese medical test Taiping Huimin Eiji Fang, translated as Formulary of the Pharmacy Service for benefiting the people in the Taiping era. It was compiled in the Song Dynasty around 1078-1085. Now we see the composition of the formula. Renshen, Panax ginseng, tonifies Yuan Qi and spleen pancreas Qi. Paiju, Atractylodis macrocephala, strengthens the spleen pancreas and dries dampness. Fuling, Poriacocos, leaches out dampness, supports spleen pancreas. Kansao, Glycyrrhiza uralensis, harmonizes the formula and tonifies Qi. Shanyao, Dioscorea opposita, tonifies spleen pancreas and tonifies kidney. Pipiendo, lab purpureus, strengthen spleen pancreas and resolve dampness. Lienzi, nelumbo nucifera, tonifies spleen pancreas and stops diarrhea. Yiren, coix lacrima iobi, promotes urination, strengthen spleen pancreas. Qigong, platycodon grandiflorus, with herbs upwards, supports lung. And the last is Sharen, Amomum villosum, that warms middle, transform dampness. And now we see modern research concerning Shenlin Paizusan and the intestinal microbiota. First of all, Shenlin Paizusan restores microbial balance, eubiosis. In models of intestinal dysbiosis caused by antibiotics, by inflammation, or high-fat diet, Shenlin Paizusan has been shown to rebalance the gut flora. It increases beneficial bacteria as Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, Akkermannia, reduces harm of pathogenic bacteria such as Escherichia coli, Desulfovibrio, and Bilophila, and increases short-chain fatty acid production. We have seen that Shenlin Paizusan promotes the production of short-chain fatty acids, especially butyrate, acetate, and propionate, through enrichment of short-chain fatty acid producing bacteria. These metabolites support colonocyte energy metabolism, maintain the intestinal barrier, exhibit anti-inflammatory effects. And third, Shenlin Paizusan enhances gut barrier integrity, upregulate tight junction proteins, which strengthen the intestinal epithelial barrier and prevents leaky gut. This helps reduce systematic inflammation and immune activation associated with microbial translocation. Fourth, Shenlin Paizusan has immunomodulatory effects. The formula can lower pro-inflammation cytokines, increase regulatory immune factors, and this reflects TCM's concept of strengthening Wei Qi, strengthening defensive Qi. Now we see the pharmacological components with prebiotic effects. Paiju, Atractylodis macrocephala, contains atractylolenolide, polysaccharides, stimulates bifidobacteria, improves digestion. Fuling, Poreacoccus, contains beta-glucans, triterpenoids, and promotes lactobacilli and regulates immunity. Shanyao, Dioscorea opposita, contains resistant starch, dysgenin, acts as a prebiotic, boosts SCFA producing bugs. And Lienzi, Nelumbo nucifera, contains polyphenols, alkaloids, antioxidant, supports microbial diversity. Which are the clinical applications of this formula? First of all, chronic diarrhea, and then irritable bowel syndrome, and then ulcerative colitis, leaky gut syndrome, and post-antibiotic dysbiosis. The conclusion is that Shenlin Paizusan has significant prebiotic and microbiota regulating effects, making it highly relevant in modern integrative gastroenterology. It supports a resilient and balanced gut ecosystem, aligns with the TCM view of spleen, pancreas, and dampness, and is supported by increasing experimental evidence. Shen Chu is an herb of traditional Chinese medicine, as also known as massa medica fermentata. The effect of Shen Chu on the gut microbiota are fermentation with probiotic potential. Shen Chu enhances microbial diversity. Shen Chu supports short-chain fatty acid production, and Shen Chu improves gut barrier and immune function. First of all, fermentation. Shen Chu contains naturally occurring microbial communities, including Lactobacillus, Saccharomyces, Arpegillus, derived from its fermentation process. These microbes can colonize the gut temporarily, can compete with the pathogenic bacteria, can contribute enzymes that aid carbohydrate and protein breakdown. Shen Chu enhances microbial diversity. Studies show that Shen Chu increases gut microbiota diversity when administered over time. It can promote beneficial genera such as Bifidobacterium, Lactobacillus, Akkermansia. It may also reduce the abundance of opportunistic pathogens associated with dysbiosis. Shen Chu supports SCFA production. By encouraging the growth of fermentative bacteria, Shen Chu enhances production of short-chain fatty acids such as butyrate, propionate, and acetate. Then Shen Chu improves gut barrier and immune function. Some studies suggest that Shen Chu improves intestinal mucosal integrity and modulates inflammatory cytokines. It may also enhance secretion, helping fortify mucosal immunity. As I told in the beginning of this speech, I am honored to participate to this international congress, which aims to promote the integration between Chinese and Western medicine, which is the main objective to which I have dedicated the last 45 years of my professional activity. When I started practicing traditional Chinese medicine in 1980 in the hospital of Civitanova Marche, where I worked as an anesthetist, I opened the first public acupuncture clinic of the Italian National Health Service. At that time, I certainly would not have thought that acupuncture first, then Chinese herbal therapy, and then Chinese dietetics, Chinese qigong, and Chinese massage would become so important for my medical professional activity. Now, after 45 years of clinical practice, I realize that the future of traditional Chinese medicine in the West is already characterized by its integration with the Western medicine. I live in the province of Macerata in Italy, and in Macerata, in 1552, Father Matteo Ricci, Limatou in Chinese, was born. He was certainly the most eminent figure in promoting a true cultural dialogue between China and the West. I hope that we too, with our work, can contribute to this dialogue within integrated medicine. Thank you.